Podcast starts at 19 seconds.
Welcome to a new episode of Fit the Description, a Black Men's podcast where various Black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various Black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and today we got B.
Love you guys.
And Keys.
Yo.
A.K.A. Shibidi, when Keith is here.
Yo.
With that being said, make sure on your way in to subscribe or follow, depending on your platform. Make sure to check out the additional links down below for the audio platforms. Also, make sure to check out Instagram. We are on there. We post over there all the time. And just so you know, I also had time to work on the channel. So at least bare minimum all the way up until the middle of December, we are back giving you 2 clips and a Saturday short. So that's also back on the agenda. So yeah, so make sure to check that out. And also, I think I already said it, but I'll say it one more time. Check out the Clips channel, Fit the Description podcast over there on YouTube, just to get short, condensed versions of the podcast. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Before this chapter starts, I wanted to go ahead and address some things about this episode because of the serious nature of what we're going over. So there's some understanding to this podcast and kind of how we're going to do things when we have more serious episodes like this one. So, first things first, because of the nature of this episode, I did leave sources down below that you could check out for yourself. Now, with that being said, I do understand that when you go look at those sources, a lot of people can see that as right-leaning. And there's 2 reasons for that. First one, and it's very simple, nobody else submitted their research. Everybody said that they're going to do the research, but nobody sent me any news articles or anything. Nothing to back up their statements or the facts. So I'm the only one who could do it. And I did. And the other reason for that, it's not really that I'm right or Republican. That has nothing to do with it. It's just more of, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else on this podcast or anyone else who's listening to this podcast. But everybody else who I know and who I'm around pretty much knows all the left arguments, knows all the left stance, knows how they feel, can pull up their research. Well, okay, this episode kind of proves that incorrectly. But for the most part, everybody who I'm around in my personal life knows all the leftist arguments or watches left news or all left-leaning. So for me, there's really no reason for me to represent the left arguments because everybody already knows them. And what I found is that a lot of people tend to misrepresent the right's arguments and don't take what they say at face value and just kind of twist the words compared to the left. So I feel like it's more necessary, at least on my end, to at least properly represent the right's arguments. Now, with me saying that, that doesn't mean I agree with what they're saying. That doesn't mean that they're right. That does not mean I'm saying that they're not lying. But at least for me and the standard I like to sound this podcast is that we at least want to represent people's arguments as fairly as possible. So in an unofficial way, I was more tasked to get more of the right-leaning arguments, and then other people were supposed to get more of the left information. But of course, they didn't come with their information or the research. So that's just why it is the way it is. But understand that we're not against doing that. So if you have any articles, anything that you would like to submit, or anything that you disagree with, or anything to counter that, please link your sources down below. And depending on how many we'll get, we will happily go over them on the podcast, as many as we can get to, and have a discussion on it. We have no problem with that. One thing I want to remind everybody is that this podcast is an opinionated podcast, not necessarily a fact-based podcast. So we are open to get things wrong. The point of this podcast is to bring Black men together with different point of views and different, levels in life to come together and have a discussion on a variety of different topics. So I also want to make sure to let y'all know that If you're coming here for like politics stuff, understand this is not a political podcast. This is an opinionated podcast. And so don't come here expecting for us to talk about politics all day. No, we may bring it up from time to time, or we may bring it up if we deem it's necessary, or if people on here want to talk about it. But for the most part, this is not a political podcast. This is an opinion piece podcast. It's an opinionated podcast. And that's why in the beginning it says treat everybody on here as individuals, not as a collective, because again, we all are here with our own opinion and our own point of views, not as a collective, not as a monolith, as individual people who live different lives and live in different areas in life. And we all come together to have a conversation twice a month. That's the whole entire point. And we talk about a variety of things. So if you're here for politics, I'm sorry, you're on the wrong podcast. But if you want to hear about politics from time to time, from different opinions, then yeah, this is where you want to be. If you want to hear about different things that go on in life, from different backgrounds, different aspects of black people with different backgrounds and belief system, then you're in the right place. And again, we go over everything. So that's one thing I want to make sure that's pointed out clear, especially because this next chapter, we're going over a serious topic, and probably a lot of people may not agree with what we got to say, or we may agree. But again, the whole entire point of this is an opinion. And I know the statement is everybody has an opinion. That's true. And that's my point is, you know, one of the issues I found is that there's so many people that want to talk above people, but don't want to talk to people, and don't want to have discussion with people who are out here living life, or people want to just stay in their echo chamber and just want to just say whatever they want to say and not have to really talk to people either that disagree or that's actually having to actually deal with it, or even being affected by it, you know. And I do find that one of the issues is, which I think I've said this before on a different episode, is that too many echo chambers are created. I personally don't like echo chambers. That's why I made this podcast, to kind of, you know, destroy that, and to make sure that I do get different points of views, whether we agree or disagree. At the end of the day, you at least get to listen to people in different areas of life come here. Technically, sorry about that. You do get to hear from various different black men from different areas and aspects of life come together on this channel and have conversation. To me, I feel that's important, and that's something that, you know, is the number one point that we want to make sure to achieve on this podcast. But again, like I said, we're not a news network. We don't pretend to be. We're just a bunch of men on here that have their own opinions about life in the world. And, you know, we want to, you know, have discussions. Right or wrong, good or bad. At least you get to hear from different opinions and different views, and you could come up with your own ideas and your own conclusions. Again, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, and sometimes facts don't even apply because it's just an opinion. You know, that's something that somebody said on this podcast a long time ago. It's just an opinion, and that's what this podcast is about. It's just about opinion. I know everybody says that not everybody should have an opinion, but I totally disagree. I think that's how we become better as a society, is by sharing different ideas and different opinions and coming to the best conclusion, whatever that is. So, I mean, so that's the whole entire point. You know, I'm not here to tell y'all we're the arbiters of truth. You should listen to everything that we got to say. And, you know, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, and sometimes it's just personal belief system. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I did want to make sure to put this disclaimer and just say these things to kind of remind you what this is. And particularly because what we're going over is really serious. So to make sure that you have an understanding and an idea of what this is. So there is no confusion on, well, you this or that, or you're this or that. There's none of that. It's just a bunch of black men come together to have conversations on things that we want to talk about, whatever that is, you know. So that's why I said, so just a reminder, if you're coming here for politics, I'm sorry, you're probably on the wrong channel. If you want to hear from various different black men about politics from time to time, you're pretty much in the right place. And if you want to just hear black men's opinions on things, you're in the right place. So now, with that being said, that's all I've got to say. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to the second half of this episode.
You talked about things like immigration, which she did do a good job at managing, um, abortion and stuff like that. Where it's like, okay, well,
The abortion thing was pretty bad.
like no one's worried about that right now.
That's not
Well,
true. That's not true.
that's not true.
That's not
It's
true.
the women. She did
Women,
right, but
yeah,
that was the one thing
yeah.
she did good because she's a woman and that's women's rights.
Well, it
situation.
no, I mean, it doesn't. Go ahead.
Women have rights to abort. It's just ran by the state. So,
Huh?
It's
You said what?
Women have the rights to abort.
No, but that's not the argument. The argument is that Trump is trying to take that right away.
It's ran by the state.
No, you're not understanding. You're not understanding that their problem is that Trump is his plans is to remove abortion. So basically, huh?
He was just saying.
No, wait, B, you broke up. You broke up at the first. Say that again. Say that again.
I heard Trump. He didn't say nothing about removing abortion. He just said that it's ran by the states now. That's their problem. He got other things to worry about.
No. He's trying to ban abortion. Like,
yes,
people
thank you.
going to get abortion, that's what he's trying to do. The state has nothing to do with abortion. It's literally only legal in about 13 states. Every other state, 47 states, sorry, not 47 states, 37 states, it's not illegal. So, and that's what he did. So he's trying to get the other 13 states to jump on board. It's just like out here, abortion is still legal, but it costs a fortune now because we're one of the only states that still allow it. He's trying to get the other 13 states on board.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with the state.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
There you go.
That's what he says. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I just feel like
you can't say that's what he said when you get. You know what? That's why I didn't want to chime in. Keep going.
That's what it is. You know, that's it. That's why that part of her campaign made sense because she's a woman and she's fighting for women's rights. That part of the campaign made sense. That's all I'm pointing out for her.
Yeah. No arguing, guys.
Yeah. And I get it. And truth be told, I feel like, in my opinion about abortion, since we're on the topic, I feel like what really needs to happen with abortion is the male contract. That's what needs to happen with abortion. All this other crap, whatever. What we need is a male contract when a female gets pregnant if we are willing to have this baby or not. Because at the end of the day, they have the power. And that's not right. It's one-sided. If you want to keep the baby, they can get rid of the baby. If you wish to if you don't want the baby and you tell her, hey man, I really can't afford kids right now, and me and you are just kind of hanging out. I don't think it's a good idea for us to have children together. Mm-hmm. But you can't say that. You're an asshole. But that's real. Like that's real. That's real. You can't get mad at that. You can't get mad at somebody keeping it real like that with you. And I've known.
Okay, so let me just ask the panel a question before you finish that. And I don't know for a fact, but everybody on this panel has done this, but I will throw out a hypothetical. Or not a hypothetical, I will ask the question first, then throw out a hypothetical. How much, have you, and you've ever went on a date with a woman, a new woman, how much have you spent?
Hold on, let me turn this down so I can hear you good. I want to hear what you got to say. Hold on. I want to be able to respond to it.
When I said, if you've ever went on a date with some woman, or met some woman at a bar or whatever, met a woman, took her out, whatever, how much have you spent on her? In that first maybe day, or week, or how much have you spent before you hooked up or had sex or whatever the case may be?
Oh, see, I'm probably the
Like,
wrong person.
Well, let me ask this: Are you because I
no,
just want to know?
you're not asking me anything. Answer the question.
Okay. Who's answering first?
I mean, go ahead.
ID.
It depends. I mean, that's the best way I could say it.
Oh my God! What do you mean? It depends. I'm saying, have you ever been in that situation? I have been on dates with women. I have took them out. I have spent hundreds of dollars in the moment. I'm saying, I've met chicks at bars. I've hanged out. I went with chicks at house parties. We've talked. We've hung out after. I'm saying this is not a hard question to answer.
Well, no, it's not about being hard.
Is
Wait.
that-
Wait. Let me go.
You're dealing with somebody who
Hold
don't
on,
date.
stop. Let me go. God, I'm trying to talk to this man directly. Shit. No, it's not that it's hard, but for me, it's circumstances. Because I've been on dates with women. I didn't pay nothing, but I would say the most I ever spent, like dealing with a woman having to pay, is about $50 is the most. So yes, I've been in that situation, but not all the time.
Okay. Did you have sex with this woman?
Did I have sex with this woman? No, not with the $50 one. No.
Okay. So you said $50. Your wife, you've never taken her out on a date to?
Yeah.
Okay. Or so, how much did you spend on the most expensive date that you took her on?
The most expensive date we've been on. That's so hard.
Just give me a rough estimate number. It doesn't have to be an accurate
Maybe number. It's not a regular, not on a regular basis, but I say probably about $200.
Thank you. $200. B. Do you have anything to say now?
That's what my wife thought.
Say about 3, maybe 400.
Okay,
Hell.
3, maybe 400.
Hell no.
Okay, so this is why abortion. This is why abortion should never be a first option. First off, a 12-pack of Trojans is only like $10. Birth control is absolutely free and it's over the counter. And my all-time favorite is the day after pill, which is only $50. So if you can wine and dine this bitch and fuck this bitch, you can do 2 out of 3 of those options. That's how I feel. So abortion is stupid. It's okay, like, I agree with Trump. There's other options, assholes.
Okay, now do you remember before? Do you remember what happened before when that women couldn't abort, or they didn't feel or they didn't feel comfortable, with the situation? Do you know what they were doing?
Like I said, I'm not talking about the longevity, because to basically figure out that you're pregnant, it takes weeks. It just doesn't happen right away. Now, now a day after pill, at the heat of the moment, you could throw some shit out there and become a shitty dude and be like, hey, I'm gonna go get this day after pill for you just in case we didn't use a condom or whatever the case may be. Now, if that chick is hesitated to take this day after pill, you can record her saying, nah, I don't want to take this day after pill, blah, blah, blah. Hey, now you got to fight your case. Now you got to be like, hey, I tried to do the right thing.
But my bad, you're talking.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you imply it, it's not as easy as the court just being like, oh, no, you have to pay child support. No. Hey, I tried to do the right thing. I tried to talk to her in a nice manner. She freaked out and said, no, she wanted this shit up inside of her, and there was no ifs and buts about it. So like I said, yes, I get what both for gold, but I'm not saying you'll win that case, but I'm saying you kind of do have
I was about to say that.
No.
But the thing about it is, they'll still say
just the shining light on her at the end of the day. It's just like I'm just saying, if more men were to do that, maybe, because it's just like at one point in time, a man taking his kids away from a woman to prove that she's unfit. It's a possibility thing now, but it's like so many men had to take the time to get proof and sacrifice and do the right thing. So I feel like there's so many other options out there than just going straight for an abortion. And I feel, like I said, I'm not going to say that's where Trump is coming from, but that's how I look at it.
Well, you can. My bad. Shit.
Oh no, go. No, I'm done.
No, you can do that, but then I feel like you should still have. I feel like it's we should still have the options. I feel like it shouldn't be their option. The whole thing is like that's their it's options, right? Yeah, that's the better way of doing things. But at the end of the day, it's their option. If a girl goes and get a BBL and she passes away because she decided, to go the cheaper route. That was her option. That's what she did. That was her responsibility. She decided to do that. But when you take people's options away, then people are going to have a problem with it. If I came into your house and say, "Hey, dude, you can't use this room no more," you're going to feel some kind of way because it's like that's my room. Regardless of how you feel, man. Oh, you were late on your rent, so you can't use your third room anymore. Wait, what? You're gonna be like, what the hell? Get out of my fucking house. So that's how they feel. It's like you're taking away the options. Not saying that they're not going to take a day after pill or try to practice safe sex. Is that you're taking away my option to have an abortion if I so choose to. And that's where the conflict comes.
I disagree with that, though. I disagree with that. I feel like it's taking accountability for one action. There shouldn't always be a scapegoat, but at the same time, he's still keeping 3 other scapegoats. He's taking away the one scapegoat that is the most expensive but accurate. I'm just saying, okay. It's just like if you have a multiple choice thing, or I'm trying to say, okay, it's like if you have 4 options, but one of the options are the best, quickest, easiest option. Okay, but there's still 3 other options that, okay, yes, might be a little bit harder, might be a little bit more uncomfortable. And then one of these options is free. The second option is literally cheapest. The third option is a little bit more expensive, but still cheaper. But the highest option the fourth option is the most expensive, but it's quicker. I'm saying you act like there's no other options except abortion. Like, you need to take responsibility. Like, that's bullshit. I agree with the factor of that more than anything.
Right. Now I'm not going to say any names, but let's just say there's a person, they get with a female, condom break. Later, after condom breaks, they go get the day after pill, right? They try to but the girl still ended up getting pregnant. Now, what is her option without abortion?
But did he know that the condom broke?
Yeah. They found that. That's why they got the pill. That's why they got the pill. Condom broke.
That's when you go get another one for the next day.
Okay, so now she's pregnant. But you have no intentions on taking care of this woman or her child, and she doesn't want to have a real relationship with you. So now, what are my options? Because I accidentally, because this wasn't planned. We tried our best, but because condoms do break.
But you planned to have sex though. Just because the baby wasn't planned and the condom broke, and you bought a plan B, I think you have like a 48-hour period. Try it 24 hours and try it 24 hours after that. You got 2 options. Yes, it might be $100, but I've never heard of an instance of 2 plan Bs not working. I've never heard of that. Show me a case where 2 plan Bs ain't working 2 days. Show me that. Please show me that.
I feel you. I just know females that took plan Bs and failed. That's all I'm saying. I've seen people use condoms
like
and fail.
Go to that Rite Aid or go to that Smith's or go to that fucking Walmart and be like, hey, I need 2 of these. I need plan B and plan B plus.
Right.
Like there ain't no way.
Not to mention what B just said. He spent $50 on the date. Now knowing G cheap ass, he probably did that. Maybe he
No,
put $50 on the date and then $20 on gas. That's it. He ain't spending it. He ain't got no more money to spend. So he ain't gonna be able to get that player B.
well, I'm just saying that.
I'm just saying too.
And
Like make the plan B cheaper. There you
I
go.
feel like it's already first. I feel like $50 is a small price to have to pay for a lifetime if you're not ready. It's like
Shoot,
but $700-800 for an abortion. That shit ain't cheap. That is not cheap.
All right, hold
I'll wait
on. I want to give
Huh?
B a chance because every time B is saying something, you guys keep talking over him. I want to give him. I want to hear what he
I
has.
ain't heard him say nothing.
That's because you guys kept talking.
I was
My bad,
laughing.
brother.
Yeah, go ahead, B. Go ahead, B.
I agree. Abortion is like literally some last critical, last some type of last caution. But most of the
Exactly.
time, we as adults, that could be prevented. A pregnancy could be prevented before it even gets to the abortion stage. It literally can.
That's exactly how I feel.
We're adults here, man. We gotta have some type of responsibility for taking this girl home and fucking
Right. But right. So there's other
brother.
right.
Free
Now there's other issues that's gonna happen without abortion. You know what those other issues are?
Wait, that?
There's other issues that can happen without abortion. Do you know what those issues are? That was going on a lot before in the past. They put them in a trash can. And so and every now and then you'll have them leave them in a monastery in front of somebody's door. But you had trash babies that were in dumpsters and stuff. And so you have a other problem that you could affect by not allowing it. Now, if you want to have other options, that's fine. But if you want to take away an option, you got to think of how people are going to respond to that.
Okay, but I can counter that and say, what type of trash human being is going to throw a baby in the trash can?
There's a whole bunch of trash people in this country.
Huh?
There's a whole bunch of trash people in this country.
Okay, the mother was a piece of shit for doing that. That was literally,
huh?
Like she literally could have tucked it to abortion, not abortion, but homeless shelter. She could have took that baby to the hospital. There's many things you could do with a unborn baby with a born baby that you don't want.
The problem is
throw a child in the trash. That's she's trash.
The problem with
but it exists. Trash people exist.
Hold on, I just want to say this. The reason why that does happen is because they're trying to avoid the legal issues. Because if a woman just
there you go,
I think there's some like illegal issues with that.
There's that too.
Again, I'm not justifying it. I just want to say this. I'm not justifying.
Yeah, I was finna get on that. I'm happy you brought it up. That's what I was gonna say too. That it's the embarrassment. It's the legal issues. It's a whole bunch of emotional aspects with people's mental health that will affect the decision for them to come forward in that situation, which is why they do it in the first place. It's not always just because they're a bad person. Maybe they was having sex and they were a youngster, and they don't want their parents to find out.
True.
Or they on dope. They on dope.
Will still take a child to this day, no questions asked. Still will do it. A mother can go up there if she has a baby. She can take her kid to the fire station, no questions asked. Literally, that's a thing. Still, you can still do that. They have them out here. I hate to say it happens all the time out here.
Right, but
there doesn't have to be any embarrassment or nothing.
Right, but regardless of it having to be an embarrassment, it's about the individual, right? So if the individual feels embarrassed, or if the individual feels some kind of way, regardless if you tell them you could go there, they're still going to be like, but I don't want nobody to know I'm doing this. I don't want nobody to know I gave up my baby. You got people like that. That's all I'm saying is you're creating another issue because now you got people who are going to be trying to hide it and they don't want people to know. Like you got some people don't mind that everybody know they a hoe. You got other people that don't want nobody to know that they a hoe, right? You're just saying it's too many different type of people with different emotions and different mental health issues to just stop cold turkey. So it's like it's a lot that comes with not having it. Now, if you want to make it more expensive, even though I don't feel that's cool, then fine. But to take it away, I think that's doing too much. Because I agree with the fact of taking responsibility and understand that. But like I said, most of us screwed up with that stuff when we're youngsters, which is when you're a youngster, the main thing you do is screw up. You're gonna screw up. You're gonna have unprotected sex. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. And the next thing you know, boom, you're dealing with all these different issues. But having that option, it takes away some of the other, problems that could occur. I just all I'm saying is I see it creating more problems than solving. That's all. I mean, but I understand where he's coming from about the responsibility, taking responsibility and stuff like that. But the reality of it is, it's a whole lot of stuff that people should take responsibility for that they don't. Just regular everyday life shit. So, or they half-ass do it. So it's not going to go away just because you say, oh, we're not going to have abortion. Then you're going to have underground abortion. You're gonna have people that's doing abortions saying that they could do abortions, and people who are desperate will be willing to go give them a couple dollars to help to try to have an abortion and risk death and everything else.
I mean, they
So
already do
it'll
that
right. It causes more problems. Well, no, they could get an abortion though. Now they could get an abortion and you can get an abortion or whatever. I don't think it's that difficult to get an abortion because my ex got an abortion and she didn't and she was broke, like no money on the county. So I'm pretty sure you can get an abortion. You don't have to worry about it. We're to the point to where you just can't get one.
Hey, but if they're feeling embarrassed and all that other stuff, they're gonna do whatever they can do to hide that abortion. So,
Right,
I mean, that's like we said, no,
right. But I'm saying it
feelings
creates.
and emotions.
All I'm saying is that I get it. I understand it. I understand both sides of it. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying to just give understanding to that is that it creates more problems than it takes away. That's all. It taking it away will create more problems. That's just how I feel about it. Do you disagree? Do you understand?
I mean,
G,
uh,
anybody?
man, people still gonna go out there and do what they do. Still have the babies. They're gonna do whatever they can to keep it or and not to keep it, regardless if it's legal or not. So, I mean,
Yeah, I'm just saying
that's what I believe.
both parties, male and female, has shown terrible sides of not being able to have an abortion or guys feeling a certain kind of way and doing dumb stuff, and same thing with females, or females even trying to trap dudes, right? You got females who put holes in condoms. Then you know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of factors here. You know, she finds somebody she wanna trap with. Boom, she put a hole in the condom. You give her a day after bill. She says she gonna take it. She decide not to. It's a whole lot of stuff that could take place. And that's why I said the contract thing to me would be better, at least with the decision making on keeping the child or not. I think it should be the people who I feel like it should be the people involved's decision on what they want to do, and I don't feel we have a right to decide on what they would like to do, whether they made a mistake or whatever the case may be. But
Well,
that's
we
you know
You don't believe we have zero rights to decide if we want to keep the child or not. Nah.
That's how I feel. I feel like it should be their decision. I don't think it should. I don't think it should be no. I don't think nobody else should be making that decision for them. I
Even
feel
though
like it
that,
should be
even though that's my seed, all right,
right.
I put it in her, responsible or not, and I want to keep the child. That's only her decision, not mine.
Right, but that's why that
Seed.
and that's why I said I feel a contract would be better. That's all. I feel like automatic, like you would have to have a contract with that father saying that he agreed to having that child because of how it is now, where basically whether he agrees or not, she could choose to have or not have the child. This is a man has zero power and zero decisions on that situation. That's to me that's a real issue. The fact that I know somebody right now. He told her clear point blank, "Hey, I can't afford to have any more kids right now. I'm barely taking care of the one I have." The girl
Uh,
felt like oh, if I had a baby, maybe he'll come around. Nope. Then it didn't happen that way. Then she has attachment issues. When he finally said, "Okay, you know what? I can't get out of this. Let me go ahead and try to be a father." Then it's, "Oh, we got to go out to eat, or you got to be with me and the baby," because she don't know the fool, and it's her first child. So she has a couple of factors. She don't trust him with the baby. She don't know who he gonna have the baby around, and all these different things of that nature. But all that could have been avoided had she listened to him when he first told her that she was pregnant, that they was just kicking it. It wasn't like that. She knew that it wasn't like that. She got her family thinking that he's just a scandalous dude, and they both know what they were doing. They were late
yeah,
night creeping.
so both of their faults, and they got to handle their
There you go.
responsibility.
There you
Yeah.
go. But he's
He
not.
creeping,
He's
not knowing
not.
he can't afford it, and she should have been out creeping, knowing that he couldn't afford it. So,
So what? It ended up going to cost us more money in the long run. So what happens? They can't afford to have a child. So what is she? What this is not what she did. She have an okay job, but she's struggling. But let's just go outside of her. You, she can't afford the baby. Neither can he afford the baby. So now she gets on the county. He's out of the picture. They try to put him on child support, but now he ain't got no money either. So now we're paying we're just repeating itself. Now we're paying all these taxes for again more aid, more food stamps, more medical, more cash aid and stuff like that for people that can't afford these kids because they couldn't get rid of the kid.
mhm.
I'm just saying it just causes it's more problems. It's out the bad outweigh the good. I'm not saying there's not good points of not having abortion. He pointed out some great examples of reasons why we should ban abortion. I mean, those were great points, but at the same time, it's a whole heap of bad stuff that can happen for not having it. There's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
other that's the only thing I feel about it.
That's a. But to me, I say it involves those critical situations. That is just not normal. But for the everyday people, it's like you guys are in that position because it's your fault, and you choosing that route to pretty much kill a life.
How often
That's
how
just
how how often are babies had out of
Okay,
wedlock?
okay, but let me ask this at the end of the day. Or not ask this. I mean to say this. Okay, what you're saying is that when it comes to that, it's like, okay, so it's her choice at the end of the day. So what I'm not understanding when it comes to this is that what you're saying is like, okay, because yes, a woman has to agree to go get an abortion. It's like, to me, that's one of the things that kind of irritate me, because it's like it would be no different from her taking a pill or birth control. It's like she has that choice. So
Right.
why choose? Because a woman rarely, I'm not saying every woman does it, but a woman rarely comes out of pocket for the abortion, the $800. So it's like, but it's usually two people sitting there in this abortion clinic. Speaking of a person who's been there. And I'm not saying that it hasn't fucking, because I'd have like 5 kids by now. So trust me, I'm all for it. But I paid that price. I paid that price. And it's like, and I know for a fact I'll never do it again. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying that it was my choice. I'm not saying that it was my choice. Yes, it is a woman's choice. But we sat down, talked about it, weighed the pros and cons, and that's what she chose. And we came out of pocket accordingly. But at the same time, it's like, yes, I wish that we would have did Plan Bs or used condoms or whatever the case may be. Even way before when I was younger, it wasn't that hard to get a Plan B on the spot and blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. But it's like, it's a choice. It's just like me now. I haven't had to do that in almost 5 or 6 years, 7 years. So it's like, it's not like, oh, it's been recently, but it's like, it has happened to me. So I'm not disagreeing with the abortion. If two people are willing to agree to that, why can't they have a conversation and be like, hey, I think this fucking condom broke. So I'm gonna run over to this Smith's and go get this Plan B.
Right.
Now, like I said, if she looks you in the face and says, nah, I don't want to take no Plan B. I don't feel comfortable with doing that. But she'll feel comfortable with me coming out of pocket just in case you do get pregnant for $700-800. That logically don't make no sense. If you're willing to do one, why not do the other? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. So I get what you're saying about a cycle, but that cycle is catered to people to put them on a toe tag. It's like once you go for the government, it's like now you have a toe tag on you. Now you have a barcode on you. You might as well be Hitman at this point. You are. It dictates on how much you can make, how much you can earn, how much you can do, where you can live, how much food your family can eat, and all. Like it puts a barcode on you. It's like, yes, I'm not ever going to sit here and say that I feel like with the experiences that I've had, I've learned from them that I don't want to keep coming out of pocket as much as I do. So I feel like everybody else should learn, just like we said, from their mistakes. I'm not excused from this conversation because I have done that. I don't mind fucking saying it. Don't bother me. But I've always been against abortion, but I've always been for it's a woman's choice because she has to carry this damn thing for 9 months. If she wants to put her body through that, there's yes, and there's nothing that a man can say. What, unless you kill her, I mean, or you can't predict how a woman is gonna feel after these 9 months of being with you. Yes, she can be in love and happy that she has a baby. Now she has this baby. Now that burden is probably like, damn, I really don't know this dude or love this dude. I thought I did. But I feel like, and this is my biggest thing, people should talk more and have harder conversations. That's what should happen. Like, you should be like, oh, hey, just like he said, it's like, oh, well, how well do I know this person? Like, damn, we are about to have a kid. It's like, what's your history on health? What's your, there should be a lot more harder conversation instead of just in the moment bliss. It's like, you can have that hour of bliss and that, oh yeah, I'm tearing it up and she's amazing. But it's like, what about the 2 hours after y'all laying there, or like hour after, when you're like, damn, I don't even know this bitch's name and I don't even know how to ask. What is your name? It's like in that moment, that's when you like, hey, even if the condom didn't break, hey, I we had a good time. You know, I don't know you like that. You don't know me like that. Just in case, I'm gonna run to the store and go get a Plan B just in case. Like I said, I don't see a world where a woman denies that, especially if she does not know you. But like I said, if in some small world she does be like, no, fuck you, get the fuck out. Like, yeah, there's there's nothing you can really do. But just like he said, you kind of just got to deal with the consequences. You just fucked the psycho bitch. You can't point. Like,
Right.
there's nothing you can do.
The reality is that at the end of the day, no, they're not gonna do it. You know, we can sit up here all day and say, oh, this is how they should do it. But at the end of the day, how many of us do shit now? You know, they're not going to do it. They're going to screw up. You're going to have those teenagers who want to get with everything walking. You know, you're going to have those girls who think if they sleep with a whole bunch of guys that the guys are going to like them more. It's gonna keep going. It's not going to stop. So I feel like the contract thing helps because at the end of the day, you can, a female or a male, whatever, they'll understand that, hey, if I choose to go through this, that I am not going to have your support. And they have a clear understanding of that. So then they can say, hey, I'm gonna have the baby anyway.
Okay. So in this moment, when you tell her this, and you have her, and she, you know, you tell her this contract, and she signed this contract, and y'all are damn near half butt naked. And
not at that point.
Are you gonna have a notary present? Because I'm just unless this contract is notarized.
No, what I'm saying is a legal document, like
having a hard dick and getting ready to fuck somebody. Hey,
right.
I can use you to sign this contract, and then Jeff, my notary gonna come in here and stamp this, and we can go ahead and get this going. Like
we're not talking like the celebrity contract, like before you have sex and you're like, hey, I'm still horny, like Dave Chappelle. But we're talking about like when you go to the hospital, how you sign a birth certificate, right? You guys come to terms with going to when you go to the doctor, when you first go to the doctor to get your prenatal or whatever the case may be. As a woman, and as a male, you have to get this contract taken care of, which is basically lets the doctors know that this child is going to have the support from both parents or not. And if the answer is no, if both parties don't agree, then you know what their options are, right? But I feel like a lot of females would stop having children. A lot of females would stop having children because they know they're not going to get that support. So if they know they're not going to get that support, they're going to be more careful. They're going to be like, oh no, we got to wear a condom, dude. We got to wear a condom, dude. There's not going to be no. I mean, I'm trying to trap
regardless
you.
Of the fact, at all, bro. But that's not true because they can still get welfare, and like it's not like a woman can't get welfare even if the father isn't in the picture. It does not matter. So
welfare
it's
ain't
just
nothing.
extra. It's just extra. No, that's not true. Whoever told you that's insane.
Welfare ain't nothing. If welfare was the shit, they wouldn't also want child support.
No, it's just extra. Like I said, welfare will give women housing, will give women money, but it's only a certain amount to live below your means. So it's enough to survive because it's women out there who have houses and they get little money. They get $600-700 in food stamps. They get WIC. That's enough to survive. month to month. Yes. Can you go on trips? Can you go, splurge? Probably not, but you have enough to survive for the rest of your life. Like, miss me. Like, it's just extra that women can get from for and to be like, well, this is half of your responsibility too. If I'm taking care of this kid for 5 days a week and you're only taking care of the 2, you need to cover that 5.
Right. But also, like I said, there's situations at hand. I feel like, and this is if I was a woman. If I was a woman, this guy comes to me and genuinely tells me, "Hey, I'm not in no position to do this right now."
No, I already know.
And I decide to say, you know what? But I really want this child. I can't expect you to do more than you just told me. I can't. You wasn't the asshole about it. You wasn't, oh fuck that shit, bitch. I ain't the daddy. You was genuine. Hey, I can't afford this. I'm
Okay, but
sorry.
you say that, but how does she know that? How does she know that you're not saying that? Because I know a situation that I know a dude who seems like he can't afford it, but this nigga just got hit for a guapo. But you would say this nigga can't afford it. This nigga living in the slums of Shaolin. But the chick just got a payday. So you can say whenever you want in that moment. In that moment, yeah, you might be working at a Burger King 25 hours a week part-time, but hey, you might go find another job. Yes, when a man finds another job, especially like any job, whether it be a better job or a shitty job, he has to go to the welfare office and tell them. Now, every man does not follow those rules about, hey, I went from making $15 an hour to now $40 an hour. Why would he say that? But when welfare finds out that you're making $40 an hour, now they're going to really punish you. Now they're going to really take from you. It's a dude that I know, he only gets about $300-400 a check. He's living with the 4 other people because he has to pay child support for 2 kids.
Right.
So
and child
that's
support is a
the
scam.
Government. And like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but just like B said, that was his choice. You chose to have kids with 2 different women. I'm sorry, they're straight to psycho or ignorance or not ignorance. What word am I? Or selfishness. If you can't, yes, unless you're a teenager. I'll put it like this: the only way I agree with abortion, that a parent should have the right, but at the same time, I know a chick that's going through this with her dude, and he has a daughter that's 16, and she is keeping the baby because his parents want him to keep the baby. Now, he or her doesn't want her to keep the baby, but his parents are like, we'll take care of you guys and the baby. So in that situation, there's so many situations where you don't know all the facts. Yes, if it was my daughter, I'd be like, fuck you, regardless of the fact, I don't care. Get the abortion. That's going to ruin your life at 16 years. So I don't care if his family wants to take care of this kid. And you guys, I don't feel comfortable with you living with his parents. That would be my logic.
Right.
But at the same time, just like you said, it's her choice. That's not right. It should not be her choice at 16 years old. It shouldn't be that family's choice. It shouldn't be that father's choice. It should be, and the parents of that daughter to be like, I don't want my daughter to have to go through this, even if I got to tie her down like a hostile movie and do the goddamn operation myself. That is perfectly fine with me. At the
Right,
end
but
of the
then
day.
you got,
But that's the only time. Oh no, go.
No, you also have broken families though, right? You have families that don't have those kind of discussions. You got adopted kids. You got people that just don't have the resources or people to even have a logical thought about how it's supposed to work. Some people get caught up in emotions. It's a whole bunch of emotions involved with that situation, and different people, and there's different strokes for different folks. You know, some people will get by with that. Other people won't. You know, some people can pay child support, but others, child support is a death sentence.
I know. I know. I completely agree with that. Like I said, I got too many friends that are going insane, and too many dudes, well, not friends, but dudes that I've known over the years that have almost killed their exes because of child support. So trust me, I get all of that.
Right.
But I go back to the beginning of thing I'm saying. We live in a world where it's 2024. Take some goddamn accountability for your actions. I'm sorry. I'm not saying
You can
that
take
everybody on
accountability.
the planet. Huh?
No, I said you can always take accountability, but I just feel like you. I feel like just like there's always this stuff about women's rights, and women are the flowers, and women are, you open a door for a lady, you do this for a lady, you do this for a lady, and I feel
I'm doing
like
it
now, right? And that's my point.
No,
That's my point.
no, I'm going to open the door for you.
Yeah.
That's how it is now.
But
I
exactly,
can't say all that.
right. But my whole point is that's why I feel like we as men should have some form of say so if we because at the end of the day, if they screw up and say, hey, let's say you grew up and you always wanted a brother, your family was fucked up, your dad wasn't there, so you was like, man, when I have a child, I'm gonna do it right, and
Yeah,
you get this girl pregnant,
that's exactly how I feel.
you get
Okay.
this girl pregnant, and then
Yep.
and she says, you know what, I hear you, but I ain't trying to have no baby. No, but I ain't trying to have no baby. And so boom, she you can't stop her from not having that child. And to me, that's why I feel like we should have some form of contractual agreement when you go to the doctor, like a legal document that has to be signed at the doctor's office to say, hey,
Okay,
this
well,
man wants to be the father or not, because that becomes a problem. On the other aspect, you have the fact that, okay, hey, I told this girl that, hey, I can't do this, and so if she wants to go through with this, that's fine. But she needs to. But I don't want the responsibility of trying to take care of a child that I know I cannot take care of because I can barely take care of myself. At that,
okay, well,
Before we
okay,
even
well,
get
I
to
can
that
shut all this
point,
down right
Hold
now. At
on.
the
Go
end
ahead,
of the
B.
day.
before we
Big
even
Big
get
trying to say something.
before we get to that point of for the contract to say that we need to for the contract to show if you want the kid or not. We need the contract to say we need to do mandatory DNA tests. That's what we need is a man. It needs to be by law mandatory DNA test so we can at least know the kid's ours.
I
Because
think that
I'm
is.
sorry, huh?
They already have that, though.
Yeah, they only have it in one state. I think it's
Yeah.
only in Tennessee.
No,
No, you can
that is
request
not true.
you can request
You
a
can, I was
return
about
the
to say,
test.
you can request a DNA test. Anybody can. That's no. You can request it,
No, but
You
are
can
they?
request
But
it.
no. But
and
are they
she
legally?
has to
Do
do
they
it.
are they legal? Do they legally have to do it? Because I don't think that's true in every
Yes,
state.
Yeah,
yes,
no. If you go to the
they have
doctor
to.
and you request a DNA test, and she legally has to do it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If you request it as a man, I know it's a hard topic to do, but if you are not 100% sure how you're at the OBGYN, you could be like, hey, doc, can I get a DNA test? Like, yeah, she might look at you crazy, and just like he said, feelings might be involved, and it might be an awkward thing after, but bitch, get over it. Like, I'm just trying to look out for
there you
myself at
go.
that point. I mean, you can legally do it. Yes, is it going to be a fun car ride home? I mean, no, I guarantee you that. But you can legally ask for a DNA test.
No, I'm reading it right now. That is no. I'm reading it right now. I'll even bring it up. That is not true.
You can request a DNA test.
Only a medical provider or a nursing staff can give you a pregnancy test, and the pregnancy test must be voluntary.
A pregnancy test? That is not a DNA test.
That's not a DNA test.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Oh, DNA test. All right, hold on. Let me look.
Oh my God. Did you really just shut us down for
that? All right, hold on.
A woman, every time a woman goes to the hospital for being sick, she has to take a pregnancy test. Like literally every time. Because God forbid, I have a headache.
Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they don't know, and then they also have this thing. It's a name for it, but women will be in denial. But there's a specific name for it where they don't believe that they're pregnant.
I broke my leg in this car accident. Well, I need you to piss in this cup. What the fuck is going on?
There was a homeless lady said she felt like it was an alien inside of her, and she didn't realize she was pregnant.
I'm gonna need you to piss in this cup.
Okay, here we go. So this one says, so you're right. If a mother refused to take part in a paternity test, yes, for legal reasons, only a court order. If a mother refuses to take part in a paternity test for legal reasons, a court can order the test to be performed. So everything I'm reading here, it seems like you need a court order for her to do it. So you can't. So what it seems like, what I'm reading here,
it's the same thing, dude. It's still the logistics doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
So I'm saying if she says no in there, yes, you can go be like, okay, why are you saying no? If it's my kid, why are you saying no? Now you can go to court and be like, Judge, hey, she was hesitating to get this pregnancy test. I don't want to be a father to a kid that isn't mine. That judge is going to side with you because why wouldn't he? Like literally, it makes no
reason
sense
for him not to.
Exactly. If this kid if she knows this kid's yours, and then he's gonna be like, yeah, here's the paperwork, and now she has to go do it. And now the truth will, like I said, it's gonna be an awkward car ride home because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be by yourself. She's gonna be left at the courthouse.
But I guess the main question is how long is that gonna take though? Because right here, like
doesn't matter.
It's not possible.
Take a day, right?
But you can't. But what I'm saying, no, that's not the point. The thing is that you can't force somebody to take a DNA test without a court. So how long are we going to have to wait before we get that court order? Because you still need a court order. So
you can literally do it now while the lady is pregnant. You don't have to wait until the kid is born to now do a DNA test, which is crazy now.
Yeah, but
you don't have to wait. I know the baby has to be so many months, but you don't have to wait until the baby is born to do a DNA test.
Okay, but I'm also talking about the court order. How long does that take to get a court order? Because you got to wait for that court order.
It doesn't take that long because
take long. Everything is so fast now.
Okay.
Now, like I don't know, but I'm saying if I feel like the biggest issue in this is men's effort. Men don't take effort to call these bitches out. Like I said before, if men took effort to put and to shine a light on basically ignorant bitches, then we would not be talking about this. I'm not saying it will be 50-50, but shit, at least be 60-40. That's something. I feel like us as men, just like how you're doing and B's doing, it's like you guys are so misinformed. We have kids. So it's like, I feel like we talk to men who also have kids. So it's like, we've been through so many things and heard so many stories and whatever, our fucking algorithms go to certain things. But so many men are misinformed about rights and what they can and cannot do. Bro, you have rights. Like, nobody's ever going to tell you, yes, does she have more legal rights? But if you can prove that this woman is not fit or not mentally stable, you have a dog in the fight, but you have to be as calm, as collective as possible. I told my homeboy this, bro, record every conversation, everything you buy. Like, he was having him buy things when he was already buying things. Keep every receipt. So now he took all of his paperwork to the judge. The dude has a place. The dude has
sorry, that don't always work. That don't always work.
No.
They say they see it as a
saying,
gift.
No, listen to me. I'm saying that this woman was living with her mom. Yes, it's more of a secure environment. Yes, it's a person to watch the kid. But if you can prove that you can have 50-50, I'm not saying him take the kid, but I'm saying so I don't have to pay child support, or this chick is just saying that I'm not paying for nothing. Yes, if you are buying things for this kid, because most men are paying child support on top of giving her money because he's like, oh, it's just easier than going to court. You're insane. Like, I has worked for the Child Protective Services for almost 20 years. I have so much information that I try to help so many men with. Like, I worked for Child Haven for almost 2 years. You want to talk about the knowledge that I've learned? There's so many loopholes that men don't even know, but it's just the lack of effort that men don't put in, and that women technically don't have to because they're women. It's just like, if I get pulled over, I can't just take off my shirt and say, hey, officer, I'm sick, I was going to the hospital. No, I have
to just said the key factor.
Throw my keys out the window and hope to God that this man did and got a crumb donut instead of a fucking glaze or whatever I have to worry about in that moment. So that's what I'm saying when it comes down to it. But it's the lack of effort that men put in and the lack of information. It drives me insane. But I will say this: women do have the biggest dog in the fight, and women do have all the rights, because this is the one thing that a woman has told me that has shut down this conversation for me 100 times over. She could potentially die. So that is 100% why it's their choice, whether to keep it or to not keep it. We have no dog in the fight, whether she has this kid, whether she doesn't have this kid. We do not die. It doesn't matter if she's 16 to 66, she can potentially die. And that's the dog in the fight about abortion. We have no say-so. We will never have no say-so. So yes, when it comes to that, but I also feel like if you die, now I'm left to take care of the child by myself. So that's why I think at the beginning of this, put on a condom, plan B, whatever the case may be.
Right, but the reality is that they're not gonna. People are not gonna always wear a condom, and that's just reality. Or maybe they don't have one, and they in the moment, So my thing is like this: when that happens, the only thing I'm saying, the only reason I say this contract thing is mainly because of the responsibility of that situation. That's all. It's just the financial responsibility of that situation. There needs to be a contractual agreement for that, because of those kind of situations that come up, where there is those times where, oh, I can't do it, or she says she can't do it, and the reason, and I feel like if that's implemented, then like you say, oh, she could die or she could this, then you'll have a lot less women willing to that. Hey, nah, bro, you got to put on a condom. Hey, nah, bro, we can't do it like this, because they know that if they have this baby and this dude doesn't agree to have this baby, that they're gonna have to take care of this baby by themselves. They know that
but let's say you have her sign this contract. You are a moral man. I am somewhat of a moral man. Or actually, I would just speak for me. Even if I have a woman sign this contract, and I find out that she dies giving birth, there's no way in hell I'm not gonna not go get my kid. Like, I can't imagine a world where if I knew, I'm not saying that if I didn't know, there's nothing I can do about it. But if I heard through the grapevine or whatever the case, oh, Cassie fucking died while giving birth, I'm going out there to find my kid. I'm not going to have somebody else raise a part of me. Yes, maybe in the moment, I don't want to deal with you and this kid or whatever the case may be. But now this kid can have a good life or a bad life. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, this kid's going to get put in the system. It's going to fucking not understand why it's been put in the system. So my moral compass is shocked to hell at that point. But that's me. Maybe you guys are different. But I couldn't know that I have a kid out there and his mom just died and I'm fucking breathing. There's just no way.
That's you, that's me. But a lot of these, for lack of a better term, ninjas don't give a rat's ass, bruh. They don't give a rat's butt.
And I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But I just feel like that, and that's why I said that contract has a loophole, because let's say you take that contract to a hospital and the hospital's like, well, you said you didn't want nothing to do with this baby. So
so like, you can have that could be that also, but also that could all that requires is a follow up. You have the option. Do you want to okay, the mother's passed away. Do you want you have the these are your options. Your options are that you can take the child, or you can put the child up for adoption. That would be your choice.
But if she's out of spite, if she now has all rights and she's like out of spite that, oh, well, I don't want him to have nothing to do with the kid, because that's an option, because technically you said I want nothing to do with this child. But like I said, every man isn't just going to accept like, well, you died. I want to give up this kid's life.
But if you're willing to give up your rights, you're willing to give up your rights. That's all I'm saying. If you're willing to give the rights, give right now, you could put a clause in there and say, hey, if the parent deceased, the other parent has the option to rekindle or accept adoption for the child. You could put a clause in there, but at the end of the day, giving up your rights is giving up your rights. You know, I mean, if you decide to give up your rights, that's what you did. You gave up your rights. And I get where you I get where you're coming off with it, but at the end of the day, that's the
heat of the moment. It's like we make rash decisions and we don't think about it. Like I get what you're saying. I know too many dads that have, I've worked with dudes that are in this, or not in that situation, but have a situation where the mom said, no, I don't want you to do anything with it, or the parents said no, or whatever the case. And, it's 22 years later, and it still eats at them. And it's like, I couldn't imagine a world where the mom tells me no, or the parents tell me no, or my parents are like, nah, you ain't doing this. We moving out of state. And it's like 20 years later, I got a son out there or a daughter, and it's like, now this shit eats at me. A small part of me, yes, maybe in the moment I was able to live my life, but at the same time, it's like, now this kid, especially if this kid does seek you out and find you, and now it wants to know, like, why weren't you there? Well, I wanted to be there, but because of this notification clause.
Right. But that happens
Hold
either way.
Hold on. Go ahead, B. You were going to say something?
At what time period does that contract have to be signed?
I already said that.
Oh, what you
my bad. I said that when you go to your doctor's appointment to find out when you go deal with your pregnancy and it's time to get your whatever care, that's at that point the doctor would be required. The doctor would be required to have you sign that contract, just like how they have a birth certificate when you go to the hospital. It'll be with the doctors, and now and both parties will have to sign it, stating that they are that they're willing participants, or are they waiving their rights to the child? Because what at the end of the day, what it boils down to, the only real problem is the fact that people are having children and can't afford it. And if you already know that and you're like, hey, you know what, I don't want to do that.
I can't even say that though. I feel like it's people having children with people who they don't really know. I don't feel like it's not that they can't afford it. Kids are
that
not
happens
expensive.
too.
I don't care what anybody says. Kids are not expensive at all. Like like if you have a 2-income household, like I'm talking about a bare minimum income, like yes, if you don't choose to live above your means, kids are not expensive. I hate when people say that. It's like having 2 kids for the last 13 years, I'm not saying it's all in a cakewalk, but it's like it's just the choices that I've made that have made it hard. But no, kids are not expensive.
Here's where kids get expensive. Having kids before you yourself has gotten established. That's going to make it difficult. Another thing.
I disagree with that too. I disagree with that.
Okay, I'll get back to why I say that. Another thing is when you do have a child with someone and you guys aren't together, it can become expensive, especially for whoever is paying child support.
I said before, if you are with that woman and you and that woman have a 2-income household and a stability, no, I never said as a single parent. I'm saying if 2 people decide to have a kid and 2 people work and contribute to that kid, it is not expensive. I'm not saying that a broken home, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying 2 people living like like the certain lifestyle that fits their lifestyle, not above their lifestyle, you can easily take care of one child. One child is easy as hell. But yes, if you have bad habits like smoking and drinking and I like fast cars, I like 20-inch rims, and I like a bunch of payments, and I want to go to Disneyland every 6 months. You're kind of living above your means. Like,
right. Well, kids become expensive when, like I say, not everybody, because so far, now you said 2-income household. I agree with the 2-income household, but half of these chicks, when they see 50-50, they think it's 50-50 and they have a problem with that. 50-50 don't mean 50-50. Mean 50-50 is just, hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I might be paying all the rent, you might be paying part of the utilities. I might, you might get this, I might get that. I'm paying the car note, you paying the gas. It's like when females see that 50-50, they go AWOL when it's because they expect the old timey way of a man doing it all. Now, as men, as a man, as a real man, we would love to do that, right? But the reality of it is if our income doesn't match that, a 2-income house makes it a lot more less stressful, and so that makes sense, right? If you have that, and I agree, but like I say, a child once you're not in that child's life, or maybe she's booting you out of that child's life, a child can become extremely expensive, and like you mentioned loopholes. You also mentioned the fact that not everybody knows those loopholes. Not everybody knows how to deal with that, especially at a young age, for sure. And if they don't have people around them to tell them these things, then they're not going to know. They're just going to go with whatever.
Exactly.
It's like,
but see, that's the bullshit that, like, I try to teach as many, or not teach, but I try to inform as many young men as possible about that. But it's like, I feel like, people don't, like, men don't do that. Like, they didn't do it for us. So it's like, we didn't know these this information about like, well, if you do this, if you do that, but it's like we didn't take the time to actually like get to know women like that anyway when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, yes, all of us don't have kids, which is great. I didn't have my first kid technically until I was 25, but I know a bunch of dudes that had kids from 16 to 25, multiple, if not
Get
a
out.
plethora, a whole. But I'm saying that more kids nowadays, like, well, not kids, but younger men were informed better about, because yes, even though, yes, I 110% agree that it's a woman's choice, but it's like trying to tell that to a woman is a contradiction, because it's like opening your legs is one of the oldest professions of all time. I can't get mad at a woman doing that and having a kid and getting a paycheck. It's like we watch women do it with famous people all the time, and she's taken care of for the rest of her life. Because if a man knew that he can have
but that don't make it right.
Okay, but from what point of view though? From what point of view? Who said, okay, what's the difference between a man going to the chicken ranch, paying this woman thousands of dollars for an experience versus an NBA player? It's not like she paid her $10,000-$20,000 to get her BBLs and all this stuff, and she invested in herself to appeal to this NBA player. Let's just say he saw her and said, yeah, you appeal to what I like. I'm going to take you back to my hotel room that I paid for. I like that. How was that? That was on him. That was on him at that point. You could have played your game, saw her in the stands, took a shower, and went home. How was that on her at that point?
Right, but
that's not her fault.
But then it's like so then you go into like, oh, I can't hook up with anybody, right? Or that awkward most, like I said, the Dave Chappelle joke. Oh, I got to give you a contract before I sleep with you.
This is a potential threat.
Right, but I got to give you a contract before I sleep with you. You know what? I don't even want to sleep with you now. Right, but that's where it's coming. That's what it's coming to, and it's like no, I shouldn't have to like. Now the mood's gone. Now the mood's
gone. Say that again, B.
As a celebrity's been doing that for years.
No, they do it now. Yes, they do it now.
No,
they do it. They do it now. Kobe, they do it now.
No,
they didn't always do that shit.
It's just how we hear about it more now. That's always been the thing. It's always been a thing, whether it be famous people in any form of fashion. But I feel like if, just a man, I feel like a man is going to be attracted to a woman. If you don't look for the red flags when you're talking to this woman, you can ask hard questions. It's like, I don't like men who don't ask hard questions. Like, yes, I get you on a date and you probably want to smash and all that stuff, but you need to ask complicated questions. I'm not just saying be blunt and be like, damn, bitch, what's your body count? No, but there's a way how you can talk to a woman after talking to her for so long to try to ease it in there. It's like men are just so, oh man, I want to smash so bad. Man, I don't want to ask nothing that can jeopardize. Sometimes you got to jeopardize that pussy. Sometimes you got to get to the meat of the
but even think how does half of these people get with these females? A lot of the times they're manipulative to even get in a bedroom with them, right?
I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with that
either. You have Sweet Leon telling their sweet nothings just so he can get her in the bed, and then he done with
it. Him, yeah, him. I touching her. Oh yeah, him, yeah. But that's his fault at that point. That's his fault. That's his fault. So Sweet fucking Leon done chose Crazy Brenda, and he didn't scream that bitch like he should.
Right. Right, but then also you have very manipulative women too. Yeah, it goes both. You have manipulating women who,
Oh God.
they know that they're attractive. They know that they have the body. They know that they're cute, and they bat their eyes and they stick their chests out to get what they want. And men are more vulnerable to that than girls are, because we melt when we see a beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? We see a
Yeah.
beautiful woman, and it's
In my
like when
20s,
we
yeah.
it's like gold to us. When we get a beautiful woman, we telling all our homeboys, we walking around
In
with
my
her. When
20s.
we got an ugly woman, you never see that bitch. If she ugly,
In my
if she
30s,
ugly,
get that beautiful bitch out of here. Get
right?
your sexy ass away from me. Because all I see is the dollar sign. That's the only thing I see. I'm like, damn.
Exactly.
All right, like, okay, like, you
I
know
mean,
how, like, Uber Eats has, like, the dollar signs of the food? Like, some food places will have $1 or $2 signs, and then some will have 5. And that's what I see. I see $100 Nobu, or sorry, $300 Nobu, and no, I need a Wendy's bitch. I need a McDonald's bitch. I need you to be either $1 to $2 signs, because that $3, $4, $5 signs, bitch, I can't do it. I can't do it. So yes, I agree with you. In my 20s, I felt exactly how that, but now that I'm in my 30s, no, get the fuck away from me.
Go ahead,
Right.
B.
But that's
Go ahead, B.
but that's not after you've matured.
Yeah, hold on. Wait, go ahead, B.
No, I was gonna say, at some point, beauty is not everything. When you get older,
What did
we
you
gotta
say?
Yeah,
start seeing,
exactly.
we gotta start seeing the red flags,
Wh-
man.
What did he say?
Oh, can you hear me?
He said beauty
No.
isn't everything, and to get older, you have to start
Yeah,
seeing the red flags.
that's once you get older though.
You can keep going. I'm sorry.
But go
Yeah,
ahead, my bad.
that's something, like Keith said. That's something we especially you just have all this data internet content today, and we still can't see red flags. And I think that we gotta start paying attention. Listen, 'cause I believe women will tell you everything about them if you just listen to the conversation. I just need 1 hour conversation, just letting a woman blab her mouth, and I
Exactly.
know everything that she's about. I just need 1 hour. That's her
An
talking.
hour is too long, man. Give me 15 minutes. I could read a bitch like that. Like, man, and an hour, oh my God, that's just too much time. And I'm gonna Alex Cross the shit out of you in an hour. Oh my God, I'm Sherlock Holmes at that point. That's stupid. Like, don't fucking give me an hour.
I usually, I can find it quicker too, but it's just like, okay, let me not judge it quick. I give it an hour, and if I realize intolerable, okay, I go my separate ways. I don't waste my time no more. And she would never hear from me again, literally. Literally. No, I will. If I see you as in trouble, I will disappear. You will never be able to talk to me again. These guys need to start, get on that type of level. I'm not saying you have to be me, but we definitely got to start doing a better job at picking our partners, man, for real. And like I said, the kids today in their 20s, they all the content that's out there, they know more than when I was in my 20s. I didn't have all the content in my 20s to teach me no type of game. I had to figure all this shit out. So these kids got the content. They got the people. They got multiple videos of the game. They just don't want to apply it. So it is what
Hold
it
on,
is.
Well,
I'll
how
be
many
back.
times
I'm
do
about to
we
run
have key
to
to
the
the game
store.
when old folks tell you should have listened? When you get older, you're gonna wish you would have listened.
Nah, those old folks are fools, bro.
Yeah, but still, but you've had those moments where you didn't listen and
Because
you wish you would have listened.
they try to get me game now.
And then when I look at their life results, I'm like, nah, you was a fool,
But
bro.
all right, so that's what
Yeah.
I call the crack. I call that the crackhead syndrome, right? You can't look at what a person is doing, right? What you really need to do is take in the information. So if the information is right, regardless of the vessel, you need to take in the information because you can learn anything from anybody. If anything, you can learn what not to do, right? So you can learn anything from anybody. It's like when I say crackhead syndrome, I say because a crackhead will tell you don't smoke crack. The first thing the average person is going to say, but you smoke crack. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't smoke crack. Doesn't matter what that person is doing.
Me, I don't need someone to tell me that though. I already know.
Right.
I'm talking about
It doesn't.
the
But it's just a metaphor. I'm just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
in general. In general, people have information. If people give you information or whatever, I listen to that information from anybody. I don't care how old you are, how young you are.
I do
I'm
too.
going to listen to that information. I'm going to take it in because you can learn anything from anybody. I was always taught you could learn anything from anybody. And if you talk to an idiot for an hour and then within that hour you haven't learned anything, you're worse than he is.
No, like
Like real shit.
I listen. I don't take in all the information though. I take in what's valuable to me at that moment, and all the rest is the deposit thrown away. Because like I said, if I don't do that, then I'm going to be taking in a lot of information that's going to get me in trouble. And once I realize, dealing with these old folks, the elders, I mean, not be too disrespectful, dealing with these elders,
Right.
is that a lot of the games
Oh, man.
that they give is going to get you in trouble.
Right.
You know, so so yes, they told a lot of the game, but I only took the information that I've took is very little, that was the best way for me because I took the information that works for me. Now, and I'm glad I did because once again, they can tell you all the type of game you want to, but you still have to look at the results of the type of game that they play. You know, you got to look at the results and realize that okay, you telling me to do all this stuff, but look at you play the game. This is where you went. You know, your game is not valuable to me because I'm not trying to be like you.
Right.
I'm not trying to have the same results like you.
You don't have to. Right. But the thing about it is, we don't know everybody. We know what we see, we know what we assume and what we think, but we don't know anybody's entire life, right? Like somebody could tell you something, and you might be like, "How the hell you know?" My son's done that. He's assumed I don't know what it's like to be in college. So when I tell him something, he actually said the words, "You don't know, you about this and about that." And it's like, dude, I have went to college. I know the process of financial aid and this, that, and the third, and how they do that. And I'm like, I know what you're talking about. But to him, that I didn't know because he doesn't know my life. He assumes that I don't understand certain things that he's going through because he doesn't know my life. He just all he knows is what he knows, and then he's stubborn and don't care to know what anybody else has got to say because he has his own ideologies on things. And that's why I say it's better to just receive whatever you can from a person, and you could determine what's right or wrong. At the end of the day, what's wrong, I feel like the easiest way to determine what's right and wrong is intent. If your intent is malicious, it's wrong 9 times out of 10. Unless you're in a real battle, a war with someone, malicious intent is wrong.
Oh, of course, of course. But
That
that's what
so
like
so that so like I said, even when I said earlier with the sweet Leon thing, he automatically determined that dude is wrong because it's malicious. But the same thing goes for women when they try to manipulate guys, right? Or they try to get pregnant, or they try to do whatever. A lot of times they have that intent, and that's what screws them up.
Yeah, you're right. But like I said, it's like going back to noticing the red flags. And it's not just with women. You gotta know the red flags. It's also with the men, and also with elders and everybody else. I gotta say this to the audience. I'm not no heartless cold dude out here when it comes to like abortions and stuff like that. I'm
Right.
not. So use some of the words I've used earlier, especially like with the trash can babies. I'm pretty much talking about normal, sane people. I wasn't really targeting like the young girl who's in high school or 13 years old and she has nowhere to go. I wasn't really talking about them. I was just talking about sane, normal people making irresponsible decisions, and pretty much not taking responsibilities for their actions. That's pretty much my whole point was what I was trying to get into.
You'll
Like
be
Keith was saying, so
man, you'll be surprised how
mhm.
many people are out here ignorant to a lot of stuff that we might feel is that they shouldn't be. They ought to understand, right?
Mhm. I have a hard time, uh, especially if she's a grown woman, functional brain, nothing wrong with her, making decisions with evolve, doing horrible things with a child, especially like I said, dumping a child into a trash can. That if I know you're saying nothing wrong with you, I have a hard time feeling sorry for those people, because there's no excuse to not do the research and find out some type of not in today's age. We have the internet. I know everyone has the internet on their phone. Everybody has the internet on their phone today. And if you can't afford the internet, you could go to McDonald's or Starbucks and use their Wi-Fi. So the lack of wisdom and the lack of knowledge that we have today is absolutely breathtaking. That and knowing that there's one Google search away, it's just one Google search away. You know, this is not like back in the 60s and where they only had the library. If they didn't have the proper book in the library, you would never know. or the local newspaper. It's not back like in those days. We had the technology to acquire the information, you know. And I don't want to hear that from nobody. If people could go out and find every wrong thing that Diddy did in the past, they know how to do some simple research to find a problem to the solution, or a solution to the problem. I mean, so that's where I get hard on people, man. It is that we have the internet. Now I can understand if someone looked it up and they don't understand it, what they read, fine. Okay, cool. That's why we're here for. But
Right.
a lot of times, man, it's hard for me for solutions like that. It's hard for me to just say, oh, I'm so sorry that you went through all that. Nah, nah. Something that you just have to deal with. You made the wrong choice.
Right.
You had to deal with it. Everyone made the wrong choice in life, and we all had to deal with the consequences of it.
Right.
Yeah, everyone has to deal with the consequence. Everybody, you know. So I'm probably still dealing with some consequences I did in the past today. So uh, so like I said, there's many different scenarios. Too much to even talk about. Way too much, you know. Um, that's why I kind of just keep it to the normal folks, but it is. I mean, we could go on hours and hours and hours and hours
about abortion and all the scenarios alone. I mean, that's how fast this that's how fast this whole conversation is. You know, um, but yeah. So I just wanted to clear it up with the audience that not no heartless fool. Um, have empathy for a lot of people in this situations. You know, a lot. More than I should have. Seriously, more than I should have.
So, first things first, I want to go ahead and go back to the Tennessee law. 'Cause I want to make this clarification. So, what the Tennessee law does, it's a bill that proposes that an unmarried man would be required to take a DNA test proving paternity before he could sign the voluntary acknowledgement of paternity and have his name on the birth certificate. So what the Tennessee law does is that basically you have to do a DNA test before you could write your name as the father. That's what it is. So that's a clarification. So that's one. Next thing, I want to go back to going back. So I have the official statement. Just to be fair, here's what Trump said on abortion. This is exactly what he said. The states will determine by vote or legislation, or perhaps
What?
both.
Less the what?
Shut up.
All right, go ahead.
The states will determine by vote or legislation, or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land. In this case, if the law of the state, Trump said, many states will be different. Many states will have a different number of weeks. At the end of the day, it's all about the will of the people. So going back to what B's argument said, basically what Trump said, and I wanted to make sure to have that so there's something backing. Basically, he did not say he's trying to ban abortions. What his words was, he was trying to push abortion back down to the states. And at that point, he doesn't care what happens after that. That's what he said. Now, if he sticks with that, who knows? But I'm just going to be fair because a lot of people don't actually look up what he says. A lot of people just go by what other people say.
No, they got a well, I
Go
got
ahead.
some other. Oh shit, man. You know what? Never mind, because I
No,
don't
go ahead.
feel like
Go
getting
ahead.
it. Nope,
ahead.
nope.
Go ahead.
I don't feel like getting it.
I want to say this. Thank you, G, for proving my point. I might not said it exactly clear like that because I didn't have the article, but I thank you for clearing that. I wasn't crazy.
So unless Keys wants to come out with some information, which he doesn't, well, I'm gonna at this point the evidence is on B's side. Keys needs to come with something more than just what he said.
Yeah.
So
and that's all I was trying to show that
Give me a
this
second.
is what Trump said. This is what Trump said. Now anything after that, whatever was said after that, or any policy added that the Republican Party wanted to do, I don't know of. But I'm just saying that's what Trump said. When it comes to the abortion laws.
yeah.
But I'm not saying that Keith or Keith was wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Either way, you're fine. You're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that they're wrong about anything. I was saying that was what Trump said when it came to the abortion.
No, that's not what Trump said. That's what Trump said. You said Trump.
No, I said Trump. Well, I'm trying to get my I was kind of like tongue tied, but yeah, Trump. For clarity, Trump. That's what Trump said.
Oh, you got your answer? You got your answer ready?
All right. So G is right. He did say the statements, but the accusations come from, even though he individually hasn't stated, oh, he's against abortion. He's on what basically G described. I'm not going to repeat it, on the state, but he has supported anti-abortion groups. So that's what people are judging by while he did say that, but also he's not against those groups of that wish to abandon those abortions.
Okay, but I would say this: being for those groups are anti-abortion, and then actually having to change the law are two different things. You could, like I said, you could
Right.
be. Go ahead.
But it's like, but it's it builds on your character, right? So I can sit up here and say, oh, I'm not racist, but then I can sit up here and support racist groups. You're gonna say, well, you're saying one thing out your mouth, but your actions say another thing. Like I can sit up here and say, "Oh shoot, man, I don't never play Tekken," and every time you see me online, I'm playing fucking Tekken. You know, even though I said that statement and I'm saying I'm not, but the fact that I'm sitting here and I'm supporting that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? It makes you. It's kind of like the whole capital thing, right? They can sit up here and say, "Oh, well, he didn't tell them to do it technically, but but it was insinuated or it was thought that that would be something he would want us to do for whatever reason that the people have, but that's the problem is because of the he's not going to say anything that's going to completely incriminate himself. Even if he talks out of his ass half the time, he's never going to say something that's going to completely incriminate him, not on purpose anyway.
Okay, well, I mean, so those examples are kind of extreme for me, but I get what you're saying. But I mean, here's a good one for me, where I don't like to talk too much about this. I'm religious, and I'm okay with religion not being in schools, even though they're applying it right now, at least in Texas. I don't agree that religion should be placed in school. I think that should be at the home and for the parents. Even though I'm religious, and I know a lot of people
But
who
how
are
religious
religious.
are you?
Well,
How
but
religious
that
are you?
yeah, but that's not
That's
the
the
point.
difference. That's the
Yeah,
but that's the
hold on,
difference.
hold on, hold on, hold on. I was just about to get there. You kind of jumped the gun. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people who are religious will probably be totally against me on that. They believe that should be against school. So just because yes, I am religion, I think everybody should be religious and learn the faith and all that stuff. Does not mean I'm going to apply that onto you. So just because Trump supports anti-abortion people does not mean he's necessarily going to implement that in law. So I get what you're saying, and at this point, we don't really know where we're going to go. At this point, we got to wait and see. All I'm trying to do is just be fair with the argument, be fair with what he said, because a lot of people like to do that, but they don't want to actually listen to what somebody said. Now, honestly, yes, he could totally go totally back with what he said and be like, no, we're going to try to ban abortion nationwide. I mean, if he does that, yeah, then he's a piece of crap and he freaking lied. But if he's saying what he said, I mean, this is what he said. So, I mean, all we can do right now is take his word for it until something changes. All right, with that being said, I want to thank y'all for checking out this podcast. I definitely appreciate it. I want to thank B, Keith, aka Shibis, and Keith for being on this podcast. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure on your way out to like, subscribe, follow, depending on your platform. Make sure to hit that like button on your way out. Check out the Clip Channel, Fit the Description podcast here on YouTube, Instagram. I'm going to start posting a lot more on there. Some of our old shorts we'll start being posting over there. And with that being said, I want to thank y'all. Definitely appreciate it. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Have a good one.
All right, peace.